about our latest D&D 5e game.
It's called The Great Menace, which was hastily named when I texted our DM to be like, what is the name of the game we're playing currently?
Quick, Mike, we're filming and we need to know.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went down. So, the concept for this game came out of an actual pretty long car ride down to North Carolina. The three of us were in a car, and we were kind of going over games we might want to run in the future. And I was already running a D&D campaign with a group of other people, but I was like, maybe someday I would like to run a game in which the Tarrasque just suddenly appears in episode 1 and starts to, like, menace the world, and the player party has to run away and build up an army and everything like that.
Which is cool because it kind of puts your group on a time limit. It's not like a sandbox universe where, things are constantly going on, even though they are, but there's definitely this factor of the world is going to end.
Right, and our friend Mike, who had DM'd kind of sporadically before, was like, oh, do you mind if I take this idea and run a game? And I was like, well, sure, I want to play in a game. But it came down to is I kind of made him promise that if he was going to run this game, he had to kind of see it through. Because I wanted to see how this game ends. So he took the game and ran with it. A lot. And we brought in 2 of our friends so that we could have a full playing party. We had our friend Brad, and he came in to play the human rogue Aaron.
And then we had our friend Jerry, who was playing Drecadondian Roger the Pious, who was a dragonborn cleric. And with them, I had my own character, which actually kind of accidentally helped shape the game a bit.
Accidentally.
I had a concept where I wanted to play an angel, but the closest I could get to was to play an Aasimar paladin. And so I tweaked the backstory a little bit, whereas an Aasimar is more of like a born of a human and an angel, kind of like a Nephilim. I had put it as there was an angel of Helm whose name was Zerok, and he was fighting a demon, and the god over the demon sent the demon to the mortal realm as the Trask, and so Helm sent Zerok in the form of a human child to grow up and learn and try to build an army. And this was because of a set of rules where the gods weren't allowed to directly intervene in mankind. So I was playing a character who kind of had multiple personality disorder. Every morning I would roll the dice, or every time I woke up I would roll the dice. And some days I would be the angel, and I would be the big strong angel and the little personality. Or I would be the small child who was dealing with having an angel in his soul. And it was an interesting concept, but at some point throughout the game, we had the angel kind of recede back into the ether, and so I played strictly as the child with communication to the angel.
Right, and you're a paladin of Helm, and so
born of a healer and a warrior.
Right. So, with the paladin and the cleric and the rogue, we had my character, which was a Tabaxi sorceress called Mist Upon the Valley. And one of the things you have to know about our player group is that Mike strictly said no tragic backstories. And we all kind of like to make tragic backstories. Me, especially. That was like my thing. I felt like it gave dimension to the character. So when Mike said no tragic backstory, because the very beginning of the campaign was going to be very tragic and was going to kind of catalyst our characters into the plot, I decided that I wanted to add something more to my character so that she would still have a little bit more dimension. And I decided, since I'm playing this kind of like hyper, really active Tabaxi, who's very cat-like in a lot of accents, I wanted her spells to kind of be a little bit more wild. I wanted her spells to be a little bit more wild than just the wild magic that she already had. So I got it approved with our DM Mike that her spells would have a little bit more extra quirks to them. So every spell has its own quirk. For example, her Firebolt cantrip and her Ray of Frost cantrip, I roll a percentile dice, and on a 25 or lower, I'm actually casting the opposite spell. When she casts Mending, it's always mending an object, looks like it has been mended no matter what it is, with a purple string. And her Blink spell, when she disappears, she actually, the last things to disappear are her eyes or mouth, and gives like this Cheshire Cat feel.
I kind of find it funny that every morning you always cast the firebolt or the ice bolt. I never know which one's which, and that's how you determine if today's going to be a good day or not.
Yeah, if I actually manage to cast the right spell, I'm like, oh, today's gonna be a great day. And if I manage to cast the wrong spell, I'm like, oh, something's gonna go wrong today. And the idea behind it, in my mind, is that she didn't sit down to properly learn the spells. She just kind of got the gist of them and started casting, and it caused all her spells to be learned sort of off with these quirks to them. And that was kind of my way of just adding a little bit more depth to the character. So in the next episode, we're gonna talk about the
episode 1.
Yeah, the first
Fish Town.
Yeah, the first session we played, in which our characters had to run away from the Trask at level 1.
This is the cat.
This